Hello everyone, Michelle here. Trust that you're all still doing well and coping under these strange circumstances. I hope these few thoughts this morning will encourage you. Have you ever been on a boat in rough seas? A few years ago, we went on a cruise around the Med, and the first morning that we got up, the sea was not as calm as it had been when we set sail. It was choppy and windy, and before I even left the cabin, I was ill. Thankfully, it only lasted a day, and the rest of the cruise, the sea was nice and calm. Sailing on rough seas is definitely not for me. We can see and experience physical storms, the rough water, the big waves. We can hear the wind and see how it whips up the spray. But if you went underneath the surface of the water, deeper down, there is hardly any sign of a storm. In fact, the deeper you go, the storm gets less and less until eventually there is no storm. The storm rages on the surface, but deep down there is peace. There's a story in the Bible of Jesus on a boat with his disciples when a big storm blew up. The wind was howling and the waves were crashing around the boat and the disciples. They were used to being on the water, as some of them were fishermen. But they were really scared, so scared in fact that they thought they might die. And what was Jesus doing? He was sleeping peacefully amidst the storm. That was until the disciples woke him up because they were so scared. Jesus didn't panic or tell them off for being scared. Instead, he spoke 3 words: "Peace, be still." And immediately the storm stopped. Peace resumed, and they were able to carry on with their journey. Having Jesus with them made all the difference. This makes me think of the peace that we can have from knowing God. Jesus promised his disciples his peace. But he also told them that because they followed him, they would have troubles, and some would even be persecuted because they were his followers. But in spite of this, he promised he would never leave them, and his constant presence would be the means that they could experience his peace. We all experience storms in different ways. It may seem that you feel that you're in the middle of a massive storm right now, with no sense of it ending. God says, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, I will help you, I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." That's Isaiah 41, verse 10. I wonder how you would describe peace. Here's a story I read a few years ago. There was once a king who offered a prize to the artist who could paint the best picture of peace. Many artists tried. The king looked at all the pictures, but there was only 2 he really liked, and he had to choose between them. One picture was of a calm lake. The lake was a perfect mirror for peaceful, towering mountains that were all around it. Overhead was a blue sky with fluffy white clouds. All who saw this picture thought it was a perfect picture of peace. The other picture had mountains too, but these were rugged and bare. Above was an angry sky from which rain fell and in which lightning played. Down the side of the mountain tumbled a foaming waterfall. This did not look peaceful at all. But when the king looked, he saw behind the waterfall a tiny bush growing in a crack in the rock. In the bush, a mother bird had built her nest. There, in the midst of rush of angry water, sat the mother bird on her nest in perfect peace. Which picture do you think won the prize? The king chose the second picture. Because, explained the king, peace does not mean to be in a place where there is no noise, trouble, or hard work. Peace means to be in the midst of all things and still be calm in your heart. That is the real meaning of peace. Regardless of what you're experiencing, know this: God is your peace. So put your faith in him. We may not always be able to figure it out, but don't worry about that. His peace is available to you. His peace is extended to every person who follows God and puts their trust in him. As you keep going and keep trusting, but believe that God's desire is for you to feel an amazing sense of peace at all times, no matter what you're going through. So remember the 3 words that Jesus said to the storm: peace, be still. Have a great day. God bless.